This is a desk that I built last night, and I'm sitting in a chair that I built last night, and I am drinking a water cup that I also filled last night. So you see a theme here. I also have hair that I haven't washed since last night, and we are greasy as shit right now. So I'm gonna try my best to do this video and make it not seem like a clusterfuck. Okay, I have no notes today, so we're going off script. I've tried recording this video 3 or 4 times. I had a bunch of notes, and it was gonna be a really official video, and I kept looking down at my notes and I kept getting pissed off at myself, and then I decided I didn't like my topic, so we're shutting the book. We're going off script. We're basically rogue at this point. So we're putting the little rubber strap on the notebook and we're not looking inside the notebook no matter how tempting it is, because we're gonna just fucking record this video and see what happens. I don't even know where to put my pen right now. Holy cow. So we're gonna record this video. We're gonna push that as far away from me as we can. My nose itches. Oh my gosh. We're gonna do this video because I am tired of reshooting. I reshot so many times that I think I fucked up my memory card, and I had to switch memory cards. So yes, that is where we are at right now. Deal with it. My head is greasy, I am tired, and I've practiced in an hour and a half, so I have to get this done. Basically, I want to talk about this weekend. Long story short, my dad came to visit me for his retirement, and some of you might not think anything about that. You know, your parents visit you all the time, but I haven't gotten to spend a weekend with my dad in 10 years, and that's a holy shit moment right there. So it was really cool. And a little brief history is, you know, my parents got divorced when I was a sophomore in high school, or before my sophomore year in high school, and that was 10 years ago. And now I'm an adult with an adult job with 2 adult degrees. And, you know, through various issues that we can get into here in a sec, he has kind of straightened his life up, and I'm ready to let him back into my life, you know? And I've been slowly working towards that, and, you know, slowly having an outing here and an outing there and a dinner here and a lunch there. And we've gotten to the point where I think I can start to spend substantial amounts of time with him, and it went well. So one of the things that I kind of want to reflect on from this weekend is a conversation that I had with his girlfriend. And we had kind of talked about, you know, how you have to kind of rebuild yourself periodically in life. And I thought that was such a cool idea, because I, in a way, kind of resonated with that myself, you know. And I think one thing that happens with coaches a lot is we don't rebuild ourselves. And that's why there's, you know, so many bad coaches out there, so many burnt out coaches, so many, for lack of a better way of saying it, coaches in the news for doing illegal shit. So what we were talking about, and her words were, when you're an addict and you go to a group and you go into rehab or whatever you do, a lot of the times is they break you down psychologically, and they kind of tear you apart piece by piece, to the point where you have all these pieces of yourself and you analyze them all, and you pick up the pieces that you like and rebuild yourself with that. So where I'm going with this is that's very similar to what I do after every year as a coach. Now, I'm starting my 4th year as a coach. Do I go to rehab and tear myself apart? No. But what I do, however, is, you know, I reflect and I analyze and I look at everything that I did in a year. Every time there was an argument, every time there was an issue, every time I felt, good, bad, ugly emotions, and what I did with that. I look at how I treated those situations and I analyze. And the best thing I do every year is I take all of those instances piece by piece and I take the good out of there and I put that back into, my figurative model of who I am. And when I take those pieces and I plop them back into Lizzie Virgil, I look at the bad. Was I justified in how I acted? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And, I take those behaviors and I analyze them. Is there a pattern? Am I being too mean? Am I being too sports centered? Am I being too product oriented? There's so many ways you can view it, and I analyze, I overanalyze. And this can be sometimes dangerous for me because I have a really bad guilt complex. I'll talk about that in another video, but the short version is I feel really bad about everything all the time, and I need to work on that. It's a work in progress. I have started working on it, but I'm really bad at it. I feel guilty all the time about everything. But I'll get into that later. So what I do is, analyzing everything, I then find all the situations that maybe weren't great, but, I learned something valuable. And I take what I learned and I put that in the equation of me. And then I build from there, and it's okay to take those bad situations and not include them in who you're going to be in the future. Those bad situations that you regret or you feel guilty for, it's okay when you're rebuilding yourself back up to remember them, but don't dwell on them. This is something I struggle with because I have a really bad guilt complex. And what I liked about what my dad's girlfriend said is that you can build yourself up and still remember those bad instances that you regret, but you can move forward from them. You don't have to include that in your little jar of, torn up sheets of paper of all the things that are who you are, or whatever we're going to call it. The mixing bowl of who you are. It's not main ingredient. It's not even an ingredient you're choosing to include, and it's okay to move on from those things. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're a coach listening to this and you're struggling with something that you did or said to an athlete or a situation that sucked, it's okay to move on. It's okay to change jobs and move on. It's okay to not feel guilty all the time. And maybe I'll do another video on how not to feel guilty all the time, because that is definitely a work in progress, but I've definitely come a long way from where I started. I was so guilty about everything I did all the time, and I wasn't even doing that badly. I think one thing a lot of coaches struggle with, especially the coaches that I've talked to, is how to handle criticism, because there's no one more criticized than the coach, especially at the college level. If you have a problem, and my old boss and I used to joke around about this all the time, but 9 times out of 10, the athlete's going to blame the coach. And you have a good quality athlete when that's not an option. When the first question that comes out of the athlete's mouth is, what can I do better? So I guess the moral of the story from this story is, it's okay to shelf your ego and analyze yourself. And then it's okay to rebuild yourself using the parts that you like. And leave the parts you don't behind. It is all perfectly okay. And I hope you get something from this video. I really do. I have a lot of fun making these videos, whether you guys like watching them or not. Whatever. But I really appreciate it. If you do like these videos, please drop a like or a comment of what you want to see in the future, what observations you have from my video today. And, you know, let me know what you're thinking, or let me know what you think of these videos. I really appreciate it, and I love reading you guys' comments. Thanks, and have a good day.